once again. Greetings. We'll be starting shortly. I just sent a message out in the comments. If you want your name to, or profile picture, or just your name to show up in the stream, then go ahead and click on that link that I just posted in the comments. Hi, cousin. How are you, Zed? I miss you. I love you. I hope everybody is well. I can't wait to get back in town and see you guys, or maybe you all can come visit. I love you. I'm just getting set up, just getting started here. If you are hopping on to the live, hello, welcome, welcome. I still find this platform a little bit awkward because it still really feels much like one-way communication, because I can't, hear your voices. I'm a huge communicator and I love talking live, but I also want to engage in conversation, and it's really hard to have like a one-way conversation. That's how I feel like I'm having a one-way conversation on this platform. So anyway, if you're joining, thank you. Hello, greetings. I'm trying to get to the comments. Hello. I'm checking, making sure that I am streaming on YouTube. Is it streaming? I'm not sure. It's always hard to tell if I'm streaming on YouTube, but hopefully I am. I just need to refresh it. I just try to, I'm most of the time I'm looking at YouTube on an old iPad. Oh, yep, it's on. And sometimes it's hard to tell. Yep, it's on. I'm on both platforms. I think I could turn this music off. Yeah, turn the music off and get started, because I have quite a bit to talk about. And I'm finding that as I'm doing these lives, like kind of late, like here in Arizona, it is 7:00, but it's 8:00 Central Time. But yeah, that's kind of late. I've been working all day. Without many breaks. So I've been doing a lot of work because I just got back from vacation. So I had the opportunity to spend a week in Costa Rica. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm tired. But yeah, I spent a little bit, 8 days in Costa Rica, and it was just absolutely paradise. I was able to rest. I was able to sit outside. I was able to go by water, the waterfalls and the beach. And I did so much hiking. I did yoga twice a day, every day. It was just the most peaceful, wonderful experience. And I am so very happy that I could give um, that gift to myself. It had been like a really crazy year for me, with work and personal and just a lot of stuff going on. So I'm just so grateful that I was able to just take a moment and recharge and restore in a beautiful place, among beautiful people. And so I had a wonderful experience. So I'm just, hi, Melanie. I see you. Greetings. Thank you for joining me. So I'm just checking in. Oops. Shoot. I didn't mean to do that. So you probably are all hearing an echo right now. So anyway, I'll give you all just a couple of minutes to get settled in. But yeah, so I had the most magical experience in Costa Rica. That was actually my second time going to Costa Rica, and the land itself, the mountains, the greenery, and I was actually there this time during dry season, so it was a lot drier than the first time I went. I was there 6 years ago in December, and that was still part of the rainy season where everything was green, everything was tropical, just butterflies everywhere. So this time, not as much insects and wildlife and butterflies and greenery because it was a little dry. This is really hot during this time of the year or this season. They have two seasons: a rainy season and a dry season. And this was the dry season, but every single day, weather perfect, slept like a baby, windows wide open. I actually stayed in the rainforest in this small resort that had these little houses. I had my own little casita, and just windows wide open every night, and yeah, a lot of wildlife at nighttime. When I went to my room at nighttime and closed that door. That was it. I was not going back out because you would hear all types of things. I didn't know what was going on out there, and I did not care. When my door was closed, that was it. I was not coming back out of that room for nothing. But the breeze and just being in the mountains, it was just so nurturing. The whole time, I just felt Mother Earth really holding me, really supporting me, really restoring me, recharging my batteries. And so I just can't uh, uh, recommend or can't say enough about the need for us all to find that inner peace and that inner space and that opportunity to really disconnect. At the resort that I stayed in, there was no Wi-Fi in the rooms, and so what, I didn't have access to the phone, and so it was just amazing, just being able to get away from all the chatter, all the noise. The only thing I listened to primarily the whole time was nature, and so that was just an amazing week, an amazing experience, and I cannot wait to go back. I met some really incredible people, and I just had a good time. So anyway, I just wanted to share that I am back with you all again for Wisdom and Wellness Wednesdays, or Wellness and Wisdom Wednesdays, however you want to put it. And I'm really happy. I'm really happy to be back in community with you all, and I have a lot to talk about, And so this week's topic is about well, I'll put it very, very bluntly. Fuck that job. And so this topic is all about moving beyond this mentality, this ideology of survival. How do we do that? How do we walk away from a job or a career or opportunities that we know don't serve us, but they pay the bills? So how do we move beyond that? And so, hi, welcome to my life as of today. Rainbow Moon, greetings, greetings. And Nidra Nicole says, yes, yes, yes. I mean, we all been there, and tonight I'll share my story. I was there and I had to say, fuck that job. And I'm wearing my t-shirt, if y'all can see my boobies. Fuck that job. I got this shirt when Nicole Hannah Jones actually said, fuck that job to UNC when they didn't, I think it was University of North Carolina, when she didn't get her tenured position and ended up going to Howard. She was like, deuces. And so we're just going to talk about that. How do we stand in our truth? How do we stand in our power? How do we pay the bills and do the things that we need to do for survival? Because survival is a very real thing, but it's not the only thing. That's not the thing. That is not why we are incarnated on this planet, is just to merely survive. And so I want to just build upon that and talk about that with you all tonight. And so I'll do a quick pause. Greetings, greetings, greetings. If you are joining me live, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are watching the rebroadcast or will be watching the rebroadcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am honored and privileged to have you in this space with me tonight. This is a sacred space. And so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to check to see if I have anybody else who joined. Checking my YouTube as well as Facebook. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So, as I mentioned, I do want to talk about this mentality or this ideology or this concept of survival and how that keeps us stuck in places and situations and jobs and experiences and careers that no longer serve us. And we stay there primarily to collect a paycheck or because we have some type of status there, or or we have some type of power, some type of control. But it is not about it. It's again rooted in survival. So how do we get away from that ideology that tells us we have to stay in spaces and places that no longer fit, that are very harmful to us, solely for survival? So let me start by saying this. We did not come to this planet just to survive. And let me repeat that. We are not here just to survive. We all have a unique purpose. We have passions, we have dreams, we have things we need to create, we have things we need to experience that is in addition to survival, but it's not just rooted in survival. So if your daily existence, if what you do every single day is rooted in the mundane experience of just survival, working, paying bills, vegging out, shopping, and then repeating every single day, you are not in alignment with your divine purpose. If you are consistently bored, you are not in alignment with your divine purpose. If you are self medicating, drinking, drugging, and sexing just to feel connected to something, you are not in alignment with your divine purpose. If you are immersed in gossip, drama, negativity, deceit, jealousy, judgments, you are not in alignment with your divine purpose. So I invite you to just take a moment and digest that. We all at one point in our lives have been there, so I'm not judging. How can we not? Our parents, our families, the education systems, government, society at large have all ingrained and instilled and indoctrinated us into a space of survival. Everything is about survival of the fittest. And survival is primarily rooted in the amount of money you make. That's how you survive. Money, 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 money. At no point are we taught how to find and follow our life's purpose and passion, which really, really should be the ultimate goal of all of our lived experiences. How do we live in alignment with what we came here to do? Not how do we make money? How do we survive? How do we have these Benzes and these clothes and these material things? That's why you find so many people with all of those things are still not happy, still can't find joy. And the reason they can't find joy is because they're not in alignment. And so just think about how peaceful, how creative and inspiring the world would be if we were all in full alignment with our divine purpose and passion. And so just think about that. However, to find that alignment, we must be able to create enough space in our lives to explore who we are, why we are, how we've come to be. What is it that we need to experience? And it's very, very hard to do that exploration when we're stuck in this mental, physical, emotional, spiritual space of constant struggle and survival. So tonight, I want to say, fuck that job. It's time to move beyond survival. Greetings. I am Kimberly J., spiritual teacher, healing practitioner, and founder of the Journey to Wholeness Center. And I am here to hold a sacred healing space for you, equipped with tools and resources to empower you on your own personal and very unique journey to healing and wholeness. And I welcome you to Wellness and Wisdom Wednesdays. Ask Kimberly J. I always mess that up. The W's get me. So, in this space, we'll begin our time together with a very brief. I know sometimes when meditations go so long, like when I look at some of the other like recordings, I'll be like, dang, but that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I do guided meditations, I meditate. So, meditation is such an incredibly powerful tool to do that work, to explore, to go within, to connect to your higher self, to connect to your spirit guides, to get the answers that you need in order to be in alignment, in order for you to know and to recognize what's true for you. And what's true for you is true for you and nobody else. It is unique for you. And so I'll walk you through or guide you through I'll try to be really brief meditation. But this meditation, tonight's meditation, is going to be a chakra activation. I'm feeling like the energies around us are a little bit at a lull. And so I want to invite you to do this kind of like chakra activation meditation to kind of activate our energy center. So we're going to do that tonight, and it's not going to take very long. And so after I go through the meditation, then I'll share some of my wisdom teachings with you, which could be in the form of spiritual downloads that I may receive, my own personal lived experiences, current events, or some of my research and scholarship work as a PhD student. I read and I study a lot of really, really interesting things, and I may decide to share some of that with you on this platform, or it may be just integrated in some of the other things that I talk about. And so, lastly, I will open up this space for you to ask me anything that is on your heart as it pertains to your own evolution, growth, partnerships, relationships, career, money, energy, health, etc. So, as an intuitive, I do often receive messages from spirit that can provide deeper wisdom and insight for you. And so, I'll open the space for you to ask whatever questions that you want to ask. You can ask the questions in this live forum if you are watching live, or if you're watching a rebroadcast, you can just always type in the questions and I will address them all. And so let's get started with our chakra activation meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes, settle into your body wherever you're at, except for if you're driving. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes, but you can still follow along with this meditation because it's a very visual um, meditation. And so if you're not closing your eyes, you can just visualize my words as you're driving or navigating or cooking, you know. But if you are able to just sit down and just be still for a few minutes, I invite you to do that and close your eyes. And then just allow yourself to drop down into your body, softening. It's so very rare that we intentionally and consciously connect to our bodies. I mean, we get up in the morning, we start our day, and we just go, go, go. We come home, we cook, blah, blah, and we're just moving, moving, moving. And the only time that we're actually still is when it's time to go to sleep, And so just use this time just for a few minutes to go within, close your eyes, soften into your body, and find your breath. No need to manipulate the breath in this moment. Just allow it to be as you are observing your body, observing how you feel in this moment, allowing yourself to soften and to be present with and to my voice. And now take a deep breath in from the belly, holding it in your heart, and then softly exhaling it out through your nose. Take another deep breath in from the belly, hold it in your heart, and then softly exhaling it through your nose. And one more deep breath in from the belly to the heart, holding it, and then softly exhaling it out. Again, continue to find and follow your breath as it continues to soften you, allowing you to ground and to be present in this very moment. As thoughts may arise, you're hungry, you're tired, just give those thoughts space to live and breathe. And as they have their moment, you'll find that they begin to dissipate. And it's okay. And now draw your awareness to the base of your spine. This is your root chakra. And just visualize it as a bright red spiraling light. And once you have visualized it, take a deep breath in, softly exhale it out, and say to yourself, I live. And now move up to the space right below your navel. This is your sacral chakra, and it can be represented or is represented by the color orange. And so just visualize a spiraling orange light in your belly button area. And then once you can see that light, say to yourself, I feel. Now move a little further up to the belly. This is your solar plexus, your place of personal power and courage and strength. And you can visualize that as a bright yellow spiraling light. And once you are able to see that light, go ahead and say to yourself, I will. Continuing to move up your body to your heart center. This is a place of self-love, of compassion, of truth, of healing. And you can visualize this space in your body as a green spiraling light. And once you see that light and connect to that light, Just say to yourself, I love. Continue moving up your body to your throat chakra. Your throat chakra enables you to speak your personal truth, to live your personal truth, and it is represented by the color blue. And you can visualize that area as a blue spiraling light. And once you can connect to that light, say to yourself, I speak. Moving up your body to the space in between your eyebrows, which is your third eye, your inner sight, your inner guidance, your inner vision. That space is represented by a spiraling violet light. Once you've connected to that light, say to yourself, I see. And lastly, moving to the top of your head, your crown chakra. This is the chakra that connects you to all that is, to your divinity, to your higher self. You can visualize that chakra as white or purple. And once you see that spiraling light, you can say to yourself, I am. Take a deep breath in. Again, holding it in your heart. Breathing in all the energy and love that you amassed in this moment. And then softly exhaling it, releasing it to the universe and saying to yourself, and so it is. Awesome. And so now I invite you to slowly and very compassionately make your way back into your body. You may want to wiggle your fingers or wiggle your toes a bit. Just allow yourself to gently come back. Hopefully you feel a little bit more inspired, more activated, or more grounded, more centered. You should feel very centered. And a lot of times as we move and go into these places of meditation, we can hear more clearly. So if you received any intuitive messages or felt or experienced anything that you want to perhaps remember, then go ahead and just take a moment and write it down. It's really important because if it came to you in that moment, it needed to be heard and acknowledged. And so go ahead and write it down. You don't have to do anything with it, but just go ahead and just write it down for future reference. Okay. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am really excited and I feel really good after that meditation. Even though I was guiding it, I still feel the energy and I feel you all's energy, those of you who are remotely doing it with me. I feel your energy as well. So I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And so this evening, again, I want to talk about going beyond survival. So, how many of you currently feel stuck, trapped in toxic work environments, saying to yourself that if it wasn't for this paycheck, if it wasn't for this money, I would be gone, I would not be here? And so, in essence, and I'm going to take it like one step further. So, in essence, what you're saying is, I will sacrifice peace, happiness, joy, mental, physical, and emotional wellness, all for the right price. And there is no judgment. We have all been indoctrinated to believe that sacrifice is a normal state of existence. No pain, no gain, right? So we normalize spending our precious years sacrificing our well being for a company 20, 30, sometimes 40 years, or even hopping from company to company in the hopes of finally getting a pension or some type of retirement money. And then you can live happily ever after. But that does not work. And that never happens. And so, what we have been indoctrinated to believe is that, yeah, you work real hard until you're 60, 65, and then you can live your life. And which really kind of sounds insane, because the truth of the matter is that if you spend all of that time working in a toxic environment, or a place you really don't want to be, or a place that you're not growing mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, after you retire, you got to use those latter years just to recuperate, just to recover from the insanity that you had to put yourself under just to stay in that space, just to recover from the toxicity you experience throughout the years of sacrificing your well-being. And so this is an ideology of survival that, again, has been indoctrinated into every aspect of our lives. It is truly what fuels capitalism. The idea that one day we'll be handsomely rewarded for sacrificing our entire lives for a stable paycheck. And it is what the vast majority of us is doing right now. And again, no judgment. So what's the alternative? We all got bills to pay, right? We got kids to raise, we got to eat, gas prices, clothing, got to send our kids to college. We all have material needs. I am not saying that. I am not trying to steer away from that. We all have material needs that are rooted in survival. So that goes without saying. You know, but what if we, not what if, but we get to consciously choose what that means for us and how to navigate that space from a place of empowerment, from a space of choice, from a space of liberation? No one, and I mean nobody, should be subjected to living their entire lives strictly from a place of survival. And if you feel that you are, then it's time to reevaluate, reconnect, and rediscover why you are here on this planet. And get back to that connection, get back to that alignment. Have those conversations with yourself. What am I doing here? And why am I choosing to be rooted in this survivalist state of being? What is it that has me stuck or blocked and feeling like I have to live like this? We always say, well, it's the money, it's the money, it's the money. We got to go beyond it's the money, because again, some of the most wealthiest people are some of the most unhappiest. And so, again, at what point do we stop sacrificing joy, connection, happiness, passion, purpose for money, in exchange for money? And so, let me share my own personal experience, my own story, because I think that will help shed some light on being able to kind of walk away from it all and trusting and being in alignment with your divine passion and purpose, and how that kind of unfolds, how things begin to happen for you, how you begin to attract the things that you need and begin to be able to move out of this mentality, out of this space of survival. And so my story begins, as everybody's, as all of our stories begin, is in this indoctrination into survival. So what does that look like? So for me, what that looked like is growing up and being really smart or being really good. I was really good at math and science, right? And so when you're good at math and science, everybody says, oh, you're going to make a lot of money because you're so smart. You're so good at math and science. Nobody ever talks to you about, Oh, you're a good communicator. Maybe you should, go into communications, or maybe you should go into theater, or maybe you should do something, with your voice or community, or maybe you can help people by counseling people. No, none of that ever crossed my path. It was always, you're good at math and science. You should be a doctor or a mathematician or business major. And so what did I do? Yeah, I want to get paid. They say, oh, business majors make a lot of money. So that's what I did. I went to school. I got a Bachelor of Science in Finance, um, graduated college, didn't make no money. And so we push college, for our kids. And not that I'm not, because I have two sons in college, and I that's where they need to be. So not that it's not about pushing them. It should be more about helping them to find what's in alignment for them, not solely rooted in how much money they can make. You're really smart. You can be rich. You can make a lot of money. So you should do this. I work with my sons a lot in terms of, where do you feel comfortable? What do you feel passionate about? Where are your talents? Where are your skills? And see, back in my day, again, I was first generation college student. So it was like, okay, you need to major in something that's going to make you some money. Period. And a lot of us are still having those conversations with kids, with our children. Major in something that's going to make you some money, because that's all. Everything. Success is rooted in money. Survival is rooted in money. Everything is rooted in money. Forget about passion, purpose, alignment, creativity. Throw all that shit out the window and make some money. And so that indoctrination, again, I was indoctrinated, and I believe that, and I followed that. And so I went, got a Bachelor of Science in Finance, graduated, didn't make a lot of money, didn't make the money I thought I was going to make. So I worked for a couple of years, ended up going back to graduate school, getting an MBA in finance. Oh, maybe I need to up it a notch. I'll get a master's in finance. And so then I did get hired with a good company, and now I'm worthy because now I'm making a little bit of money. And so I ended up getting a position at Anderson Consultant. I was a consultant for Anderson Consultant, which at the time was one of the top consultant companies around. And so it carried a lot of prestige, right? And so here I am, this young Black college graduate with my MBA. At the time, I think I was 27 when I started at Anderson Consulting, with my MBA and my white shirt and my khakis, and, doing my thing, making a decent amount of money, and doing my thing. But during that time, I had to swallow a lot. I had to swallow a lot of racist stuff, a lot of sexist stuff, being passed over for promotion over and over again, watching all of my white counterparts be elevated above and beyond me. So I dealt with a lot, but I hung in there because it was Anderson Consulting, because I made a decent amount of money. I had just bought a condo. Life was well. So I was telling myself, girl, get over that stuff. That stuff don't matter. What matters is that you making money and you can pay for your condo, and that you work for Anderson Consultant. So who needs equality? Who needs identity? Who needs connection? Just do your work and get paid, And so life began to happen. I ended up getting pregnant with my oldest son, Christian. And so then I was really like, damn, I really need this money. So I'm just going to have to, do whatever it takes. But then that moves you. Life events tend to propel or push you into different spaces and places where you are again forced with this decision of, wow, I'm a mom now. I'm working 40, 50 hours a week, and I got a newborn here. I'm only seeing my baby every day, maybe a couple of hours every day. He's the first to be dropped off at daycare, last to be picked up. Is this life really worth it? Is this really worth it? I was madly in love with my son. I wanted to be a good mother, but how can you be present when you're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week? Because if you're working for a place like Anderson Consulting, when they say do overtime, you do overtime. When they say go to team dinners, when you really want to be at home with your baby, what do? You go to the team dinners. So you do what it takes to keep that money, to keep that job, to keep people pleased when you are negating your own need to be there with your child. So now you're getting into consequences and real sacrifices. And in addition of becoming a mother, while I'm in this very white corporate space, is that, oh, well, you have a child. And I'm already looked at because, I'm a Black woman still fighting for promotions, but now I'm a Black woman and a mother. And so the thing was, yeah, you work your ass off, but we'll talk about your promotion next year. Okay. And so life event number 2 happens. I get pregnant again. And now I have my second baby. So now I got 2 babies. They're 2 years apart, right? Got 2 babies, working 40, 50 hours a week, commuting 20 hours because I was on these projects way out in the western suburbs. So I'm commuting at least 20 hours a week, working 50 hours a week, and using all my money on daycare because my kids need before care, before school care, after school care, daycare. And so enter depression. So here comes the depression, here comes the anxiety, here comes the feelings of being overwhelmed, here comes the feelings of being inadequate, feeling inadequate as a mother, giving more of my time and energy to my job and my work than I had to give to my children, let alone myself. I wasn't even a part of that equation. It was no time for me, because I would leave work after putting in all them hours at work and commuting, and I'll run home, and now it's time to cook dinner and be with my boys. So there was no time. I didn't even know who I was. I completely lost myself in the shuffle. And I did that shit for 14 more years. I had money to pay my bills, to feed my kids, but the rest, I was a mess. As the boys got older, they got involved more in sports. So I had to balance being a sports mom, attending all the games. I really had to keep them productive. When you are raising young Black men as a single parent, you have to keep them engaged. You have to keep them productive. You have to be present to keep them off the streets. And the streets could not have my boys you know and so what that meant for me was having a strong support system, and much gratitude to my mother and my sisters who assisted me when I had to travel for work. I did a lot of traveling for work, so I left Accenture, did some other corporate jobs, but everything required travel at the level that I was in. At everything required travel, so I traveled a lot. So I would be out of town traveling, and then got to get home and then go to the baseball game. And then we get home 9 and 10 o'clock at night. Then I got to make sure the boys do their homework and blah, 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 blah. And so as I started to rise up the corporate ladder, the racism and sexism didn't stop. It just got more hidden into a lot of microaggressions. So not only was I dealing with trying to raise my boys, trying to keep them off the street, trying to keep them in sports, being a sports mom, being there for them academically, going to work 40, 50 hours a week, traveling for work, dealing with the micro and macro sometimes aggressions on the job, baby, it was a lot. It at a certain point, I felt completely disconnected from life. I started feeling disconnected. I started feeling very robotic, like I was just going through the motions, just going through the motions. I could pay my bills though. And at that point in my life, at that stage in my life, I had finally achieved a level of success where I was an executive in the company reporting to the president of the company. So I had the 6-figure salary, I had the company car, I had all of that, but I didn't have time for enough time, that the time that I wanted for myself, for my boys, for to find my passion, purpose. I reported to the president of the company. I did not want his job. And that was my wake up call, Because when I realized that I did not want his job, I was baffled by the fact that, well, what else can you do? This is all you've been doing for 25 years at that point, 25 years of your life. So what else are you going to do? You know, I couldn't sing, I couldn't dance, I didn't have no talents. I never cultivated any talents. I didn't know what I was good at or what I wasn't good at. All I knew was business. All I knew was what I learned at a very young age, and that was business majors make a lot of money. So you should be a business major. And so that's all I do. I mastered business. I knew how to be a business major. I knew how to make money. But that no longer served me. The environment was toxic. And not only that, it was causing toxicity within me because I wasn't able to do what I really wanted to do. And at that time, that was to be a really good mother and to feel connection, to feel healthy, to feel whole, to feel connection, to feel alive, to feel passion and purpose. And so at that point, at that stage, and this was around, I would say probably about 2010, I was in my early 40s when I had this awakening, this epiphany that I did not want to be my boss. I did not want his job. He was gone all the time, had no connection with his family, traveled. I didn't want to do that. And so I went through a period, a major depression because I didn't know what else can you do, Kim? What else can you do? I can't do shit else. And so that required me to start doing some soul searching as I am telling you guys, or as I'm talking to you all about going within, doing meditation, connecting to the reason why you incarnated on this planet. I knew that there had to be more than life, than just survival, than making this money, but still being miserable, still being unhappy, still being disconnected, able to give my sons things, but not able to give them time, you know. And so that was my wake up call. That was my wake up call. And what that required me to do was a few years of really healing, of really getting to the root of who I was, getting to the root of what I was passionate about, getting to the root of where my talents were. And it opened up a whole new world. That's how I'm here speaking to you all at the Journey to Wholeness. It opened up a whole new world. I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know, being an intuitive healer, I didn't even know that was in me. I didn't even know that I could do this kind of work, you know? And so with that said, I began that journey. I ended up leaving corporate in 2014. 2014, and this is 2022. I've never looked back, will never go back. I said, fuck that job. I'm getting ready to start my own. Getting ready to build my own legacy. I'm getting ready to do what I'm passionate about in 2016, and that was helping people. That was helping people to heal. Can you believe that? Who knew? Like from business finance to helping people heal, to holistic healing and wellness. Like such a change, such a shift. And so in 2016, I opened the Journey to Wholeness Center. And now I feel every day, I feel like I'm in alignment. Every day I know I am 1,000% sure that I am in alignment, that I'm living my purpose on purpose. I have freedom. I have excitement. I can travel. I can go and do the things that I want to do. I'm totally connected with my boys. If my oldest son, Christian, he'll be starring in a play in a couple of weeks. And I'm getting ready to pick up and go to University of Louisville and see my baby perform. And so I have that flexibility. I have the freedom. My health is amazing because, again, I'm in alignment. I'm not sitting someplace stuck in corporate with a corporate title, making six figures plus, but miserable. Poor health, poor mental health, poor physical health. I'm not, that's not my experience. I was able to shift that experience. And so, with all that said, that's why I'm saying it's so imperative that each of you find your purpose and find your passion. And it's going to take you beyond mere survival, even if it means walking away from a toxic job. Don't stay just for the money, title, or position. Once you create that space within you where you feel like you are connecting to what it is that you were put on this planet to do, things will open up, things will change. You will liberate yourself from those indoctrinated beliefs about survival and what it takes to be successful. All of that stuff begins to dissipate, and you will have a whole different experience that you would never in a million years thought you could dream of or conceive of having once you open yourself up, once you get rid of the indoctrination, unpacking all of the limited beliefs that we have about money and success and survival, and really be courageous enough to be in alignment with your passion, with your purpose, with your truth. Everything begins to change, and you can do it. You know, you can do it. It takes wanting to connect to you, to giving yourself a chance to connect to you, and doing the work. And so that's it. I just wanted to share my story because, yeah, I said fuck that job, and a lot of people want to say it. And I think it's so very important that you do it, that you start now. And so I want to open up the space now. I'll check and see if you have any if there are any comments. Oh, I got quite a few people watching. I want to say hello to Stephanie and Bashonda. Hey, my loves. And Coco Chavez. Hey, baby. I love you. Thank you for joining me and watching. Oh, Jessica. Yes, she walked in. Man, Jessica has been a huge, huge, huge success story in being able to be in alignment and trust and trust and trust in her passion, trust in her purpose, trust, trust, trust. She is doing magnificent. I am so proud of you. And keep posting, Jessica. Keep sharing your story in terms of your success and your accomplishments of being an entrepreneur, of breaking away and doing your own thing and trusting that you could do it, regardless of what society says is success or what society tells us we can or cannot do. You are amazing. Such peace. Yes, I know. I know. I know, my love. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Oh, you all don't know how much courage it takes to walk away from that stability. I know everybody says, "Oh, I get this paycheck. I get this, and every 2 weeks I got this paycheck," but you pay a cost. There's a price that you are paying for that stability, and you really have to sit with yourself and say, "Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Are my talents being wasted? Am I not even giving myself enough time and space to find out what my talents are, to find out what I'm passionate about? To play that guitar, or to play, or to do music, or to do whatever it is that you're passionate about. The first thing that you hear is that, well, you ain't gonna make no money doing that. Even in my business right now with Journey to Wholeness Center, I have not made as much money as I made in corporate, and I don't care, because the trade off is liberation. The trade off is peace. The trade off is full embodiment. The trade off is being able to explore and to do whatever it is that I want to do. The trade off is creativity. The trade off is giving myself space to go back to school and get a PhD in something that my PhD is in philosophy and religion with an emphasis in women's spirituality, not another freaking business degree. And so who knew? So being able to walk down this path, it opened up doors where I have met some of the most wonderful people in my PhD program. I've met the most wonderful people in my travels. None of these things would have been possible if I didn't have the courage to walk away and say, fuck that job. There's got to be something more. And in that moment, I didn't even know what that more was. And so that's why it requires radical courage just to believe in yourself, just to believe in your inner voice and your like knowing, clear knowing that there's something else, even when you don't know what that something else is. Yeah. And so thank you, Jessica, for sharing. And so I'll open it up. Great. Oh, thank you, Chevis. Thank you. And I'll open it up. If you all have any thoughts, any questions, please put them in the chat. Put them in the chat, because you may have a question that somebody else may be thinking at the same time. And again, even if I don't, if you're not watching this live and you're watching it at another point in time, uh, please add your questions to the chat. And so I'll give you guys just a couple of minutes if you have questions to put them in the chat. I just lost my chat box. I'm going to go back to restream. Yes. Okay. All right. So, with that said, I invite you again to really sit with your decision, because again, this talk is not, I don't want to be coming from a place of judgment. And the reason I share my story is because I've been there. You know, I've been there. I've been rooted in survival. I've been tethered, to the income and all the things that come, the material things that come, and never knew that my journey was an incredible spiritual one. And we're all spirit beings. We all have a spiritual journey. We all have a passion. We all have a purpose. And how do we be in alignment, and how do we live it? How do we live out our truths? And that's life. You know, that should be life. That should be where we focus and spend most of our energy and time and attention on, not on making someone else's dreams come true. And so, as we close, I invite you to really sit with your decision to stay in a toxic working environment or a job that is only serving you financially. Okay. Is your life, your health, your overall well being really worth it? And if you answer that question, the answer to that question is no. It's time for you to liberate yourself by exploring who you are and why you are. Do the work required to find your passion and purpose. We don't have the answers. We don't know. When I walked away from corporate, I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. And that's okay. Just know that you have the strength, the ability, the courage, the wherewithal to be in alignment. God has already given it to you. It's already given it to you. It's already done. You just have to open up and be in alignment and waking up to it. And so, and when you do that, you create this space. The money will flow, the energy will flow, the freedom will flow, the joy will flow. It will all follow once you heed that call and say, yes, I'm ready to be in alignment. I want to live out my life on purpose. So, if you want to continue this discussion, or something has come up for you, or something has been triggered in you, and you want more clarity or guidance, please reach out to me. I do offer one on one intuitive healing and spiritual life coaching sessions that will help you kind of, hone in on what is your divine purpose. And we could talk specifically about your personal situation. So you can email me at kdavis@journeytowholeness.org, or check my website. I'll put that information in the video, in the comments in the video. Also, I have an on-demand course that's called Reclaiming Your Joy, and that may be very helpful for you to begin to hone in on your power and your passion. And I'll put a link to that course out there as well. So thank you for sharing this space with me. I'm sending you all so much love, many blessings, and I'll see you next week. Also, if there's any other topic that you want me to talk about, anything that you want me to build upon next week, then put that in the comments as well. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Thanks for joining me.